Thank you, Ian, and good morning, everyone. It is such a great honour to address you here at Queen's today, and it's always a joy to return to the alma mater, which rightly takes its place among the most prestigious universities in the world. And can I firstly take a moment to congratulate the QUB team who have ran this event, this world-class event. And I particularly want to call out the leadership of Vice-Chancellor and also the conference organisers, Richard English and Ryan Feeney, for all their long hours and hard work through this process. I grew up in North Belfast, in the Waterworks area, just under the beautiful Cave Hill. And as a child, I didn't know anyone in my family who had been to university. But I did know that I wanted a pathway into prosperity, and that was only made possible through the scholarships that Queen's provided. And that's why I was so heartened to be at the launch of the Clinton Scholarship earlier this week. The education that my classmates and I received here, the friendships that we made, the partners that we found, and the high expectations of our tutors shaped a generation with a steely determination to see a future free from the darkness imposed by the Troubles. This is the third time I have been on the stage here in the Whitlow Hall, and each occasion has marked a momentous time in my life. The first was in 1995, when I walked across this same stage to receive my graduation in electrical and electronic engineering. At that time, I could not see a fulfilling future for me at home, and so within weeks, I was on a plane to take up what turned out to be a number of different technology roles when careers in countries regarded as engineering superpowers in Japan, Germany, China, and North America. My second appearance on the stage was in 2019, when I received an honorary doctorate, and when I decided that partly in order to live up to the benefit of that honour, I would leave my career in venture capital to spend the next chapter in the service of the public. And so I find myself here for the third time, as the head of the civil service, in a job which is the privilege of my life to work with our local parties and to serve the people here. And at a momentous time for Northern Ireland as we mark 25 years of peace. Part of the outstanding series of events from Queen's has been on reflection and looking back. Before I took off to find my place in the world, I should have realised what I know now. We are also world-class, not just in engineering, but in technology, life and health sciences, software, the arts and screen. Inventing and creating is in our DNA. We are innovators, problem solvers, storytellers, and together we have achieved so much. Since 1998, more than 200,000 new jobs have been created, and we have almost full employment. Our skills base has gone from strength to strength. The number of economically active people with degrees has doubled, and we have made huge strides in sustainability. 25 years ago, our clean energy supply was effectively zero. Today, more than 50% of our electricity is from renewable sources. Since 1998, the changes in our physical and psychological landscape are numerous. With the arrival of major investors and tourists from the US and right across the globe, we realise that we are valued and that we are valuable. The texture of the news stories from here began to change. We began to see good news stories that we could take pride in. And today, really exciting things are happening here. We provide a home for more than 1,200 international companies, and when they invest here, they stay, with 70% reinvesting. And innovation is at our core. we now have an outstanding global reputation as a hub for leading-edge technologies, particularly in notable emerging sectors such as low-carbon technologies and cybersecurity. We are leaders in software and the #1 investment location for US cybersecurity firms. We are also leaders in advanced manufacturing, and 1 in 5 of every computer drives are made from parts which are made by Seagate Technologies in the Northwest. But we have also grown billion-dollar indigenous companies such as Kainos and First Derivatives, who export Northern Ireland-made solutions to global problems every day. And our entrepreneurs are bursting with ambition to build thriving businesses. Our entrepreneurial ecosystem supports our areas of strength through collaboration and deep expertise. And with all of this honed in the R&D centres of excellence in our 2 world-leading universities, with Queen's ranked #1 in the UK for its entrepreneurial impact. And these rankings don't just apply to our tech sector. We are consistently rated the happiest region in the UK and have the lowest crime rate. And we are often too quick to forget just how far we have come in a relatively short period of time. And we couldn't have dreamed of it 25 years ago. But as President Biden said in his visit here last week, the simple truth is that peace and economic opportunity go together. And our next mission is to ensure that the benefits of the peace dividend are felt by everyone who lives here. Because the sad fact is that the legacy of our past still clings to us. We are struggling to deal with persistent societal problems, low-paid work, low economic productivity, and multi-generational poverty. Not all our communities have experienced the benefits of peace. And even after 25 years of peace building and investment, our job is not yet done. All of this means that when our economic and social resilience is tested by global challenges, such as elevated inflation, of all the areas on these islands, Northern Ireland is hit the hardest. And if the last couple of years have taught us anything, it's that there will be another crisis, at least one. But people who live and work here do have an inbuilt resilience, a stoic resolve as each crisis hits. However, I would counsel that we should not stake the future dependent on our children's resilience. Rather, we should build a society and economy resilient to the next crisis, and that means addressing the long-term structural weaknesses that have dogged us for decades. And as difficult and stubborn as these are the problems that demand our focus. Now, more than ever, we must find our voice, claim our place in the world, and renew our commitment to working together to address the inequalities that persist. And our challenge is to find a sustainable way to thrive and deal with the new acute needs facing all countries, alongside the old enduring ones rooted in conflict, identity and fear that are unique to us. If our problems are linked, and the evidence is clear that they are, then our starting point cannot be one of collective or isolated interventions. It must involve a shift to collective responsibility and to supported and deliberate systemic change. And since 1998, successive governments, local, regional, international investors have focused on improving individual, sectoral or geographical-based outcomes, covering everything from health, education, employment and justice, through to attitudes, behaviours and good relations. Incredible work has been done. We have undoubtedly made progress, but the post-conflict playing field was never a level one, and that is holding us back. We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. To achieve them, the system needs to work better together. The road to 2050 and beyond requires innovation on an unprecedented scale, unlocking a unique opportunity to drive growth and inclusion. When we think of the next 25 years, our aim should be to create a place where everyone will have the best possible opportunities in life and well-paid, fulfilling employment while transforming and decarbonising our economy. And of course, policies are for ministers to decide. But as Chief Advisor to the First and Deputy First Minister and Secretary to the Executive, you'd expect me to have an opinion. And I have been working with these parties on what we need to do to make this vision a reality. To get there, we need to deliver for our people, for our planet, and secure prosperity for all, focusing on innovation, inclusivity, and sustainability. Boosting areas where we have real strengths, while stabilising and transforming public services. Creating higher value jobs and ensuring that the economic gains benefited every person, every business, and every place. And supercharged by game-changing city and growth deals, this is truly a pivotal moment to effect lasting generational change. Our mission must include delivering for our people by improving life opportunities for everyone, focusing first on the most disadvantaged, bringing more people into the workforce, enhancing the preschool offer for children, and ensuring that more of the working-age population have a third-level education. Delivering for our planet through green growth, driving a renaissance for our engineering and digital sectors, all while reducing energy consumption. We want to cut carbon emissions by 48% and achieve 80% electrical consumables from renewable sources by 2030. This will give our homes and business access to clean, secure, and affordable energy. And we will grow our shared prosperity through higher productivity by increasing employability. We will reduce the almost £8 billion productivity gap between Northern Ireland and the rest of the UK by increasing the number of innovation firms, by increasing investment in R&D, and supporting our key sector clusters. And this will also increase household disposable income, ensuring that the benefits of economic success are shared amongst us. While I believe the road we have built is strong enough to support this ambition, we will reach our destination all the more quickly with help from our friends. Having the support of US Special Economic Envoy Joe Kennedy and the wider US administration is truly transformational. It has been my privilege to work so closely with Joe and his team over the last number of months to see firsthand his vision for our partnership, the impact of which is already being felt here. Thank you, Joe. And just like in 1998, we are turning the page on a new chapter, and here is our story so far.
In the last 25 years, we've come a long way. We've faced more than our fair share of challenges, but with the support of our friends, risen to every single one of them. And look at us now. We've built successful global companies and audacious startups, and we've helped you to grow too. We're icons of peace building, world leaders in cybersecurity and software. We've groundbreaking expertise in life and health sciences, fintech, and have a cutting-edge manufacturing sector, exceptional agri-food businesses, and a screen and creative industry recognised across the globe. Add to that our unique access to trade opportunities within the rest of the UK and Europe, and we've got giant potential. We're defined by our people. Fiercely passionate, resilient, vibrant and diverse. We're creators and inventors, storytellers and champions, entrepreneurs and networkers. We're young, educated, highly skilled and always driven, truly deserving of ever-improving life opportunities so that we can flourish. We're a lush green land in tune with our planet. Green growth is in our DNA, as is our will to respond effectively to the climate crisis. We're disruptors at the helm of the new industrial revolution, committed not just to achieving net zero, but to helping others do the same. We're dedicated to an equally shared prosperity. We want our key sectors to bloom, growing our productivity and with it, securing all of our futures. Together, we've already achieved so much, but we can do more. We can be more. And this is your invitation to be part of real change. a giant opportunity for our people, our planet, and our prosperity. Yes, it's ambitious, but when better, who better, and where better than Northern Ireland?
Today, brimming with energy, innovation, ambition, and hope. But to deliver on that ambition, we all need to travel in hope and to be ambitious. Finally, Joe and I had the pleasure of visiting some of businesses around Northern Ireland and in the Northwest last Friday, and we took an opportunity to stop at the iconic Derry Girls mural shown in the clip. And it made me think of the brilliant and very moving agreement episode and something very poignant that Erin said. Things can't stay the same, and they shouldn't. No matter how scary it is, we have to move on, and we have to grow up, because things, well, they might just change for the better. Thank you.
Many thanks to both the Vice-Chancellor and to Jean Brady for those very inspiring remarks. It's clear that peace and political stability are essential for our economic success, whether in terms of investment in local businesses or decisions by foreign-owned businesses to locate and to invest here. This morning we will be hearing about the peace dividend, how Northern Ireland, since the agreement, has become a place to invest, and also our ability to attract inward investment and to compete internationally. So let me introduce our next very special guest this morning. In his role as US Special Envoy to Northern Ireland for Economic Affairs, he's focused on advancing economic development and investment opportunities, something that will benefit everyone in Northern Ireland. So please join with me as we welcome to the stage Joe Kennedy III.
Good morning, everybody. Pro Vice-Chancellor, thank you so much for the kind introduction, for the invitation, for an extraordinary week. You guys have done the incredible. And before I start, I want to give a big thank you to Vice-Chancellor Greer and a huge congratulations for an incredible couple days. As a former member of the U.S. House of Representatives, I have some idea about the challenges of coordinating the desires, needs, hopes, aspirations, crazy thoughts of any politician. And folks, it is not for the faint of heart. Vice-Chancellor, you decided to do that with, by my current count, 2 current prime ministers, 3 former heads of state, a secretary of state, a president, a vice president, countless ambassadors, party leaders, members of parliament from multiple countries, regions, civil society, and an audience. Bravo and well done. I also want to take a quick second and just thank the incredible men and women on your team who made it happen. Ryan Feeney got a shout out a little while ago, but I want to give him another one. He actually ran a dedicated hotline to our consulate to help manage our entire moving parts, which also is not always for the faint of heart. Ryan, God bless you, Godspeed. I have been told you have the rest of the week off. And the same goes to our incredible Consul General, Paul Narain. Paul, your team has been incredible. You have run me ragged, my friend. For those of you that, I've been here for about 10 days or so, my wife and family came in. We all moved in with Paul. So for those of you that think you've had a long week, he gets to go home to an entire another family with 2 little kids running around and destroying everything that the US government put inside the consulate. So thank you, and to Stephanie as well. Thank you both. And one last indulgence. Don't let the grace of Jane Brady fool any of you. She is tireless, she is tenacious, and she is absolutely amazing. Jane, you and your team have been incredible partners to me as I try to get my feet underneath me here. It has been a privilege to get to know you, to get to work with you, and I am incredibly excited about the work that you and we can do together. So, thank you. A final note of gratitude to the people of Northern Ireland for the extraordinarily warm welcome that you have extended to me and my family this past week. Lauren and our kids have had an incredible time with you, and you could not have been more friendly, more gracious, and more kind. And that started after 10 p.m. last Tuesday night in the rain, with the crowds that were lining the street to meet President Biden. Last Sunday at Clonard Monastery, an extraordinary exhibition by the choir. The students here at Queen's and the entrepreneurs we visited at Catalyst. The shopkeepers we helped support in Derry, Londonderry. To the crew that made the biggest ice cream sundaes my kids ever seen and devoured after crossing that rope bridge in Carrick-a-Reed. We have had an extraordinary visit. To all of you, thank you. You have also kept us busy with one remarkable adventure after the next. I went on a boat that has a takeoff button on the steering wheel that when you press it, it literally launches into the air and moves around on a hydrofoil. We cruised around Belfast Harbor at a smooth 30 knots, a place that was once the shipbuilding center of the world. I walked through a factory floor at Seagate in Derry and Londonderry, trying in vain to understand how you can fix a laser to something the size of an atom. I still don't get it. But thankfully, they do. And 1/3 of all the computers in the world have parts that come through a Seagate factory. Nearly half of those come from that factory. A few minutes later, I was walking across walls that are over 400 years old on my way to a peace bridge. I walked through an old bathhouse from the 1700s, and there were 2 bathtubs in the lobby. I thought it was an interesting look for a spa. I turned the corner, and I met an Oscar winner. I turned around, and I saw a young man wearing a virtual reality headset, trying to stop Lionel Messi from scoring yet another goal. Well, I think Messi probably got the best of him. That young man was creating a video game that helps get people up and keeps them active to improve their health. There are few places on this planet where the connection between the past and the present is so tangible. And I can only imagine how complicated and at times how difficult that must be. But there is a difference between being guided by the past and being held hostage by it. One can and should be proud to recognize the achievements that have been made while seeing there's a journey still ahead. And that is a balance that Northern Ireland navigates today, though it has never been easy, though you have sacrificed greatly. As Senator Mitchell said from this podium, this week we honor 25 years of an agreement by and for the people of Northern Ireland. It's your agreement. It is your home. It is your future. It is your journey. But know that I, and so many others, are excited to come along with you as you embark on this next chapter. Many have remarked this past week that there can be no prosperity without peace. President Biden, as you all heard, agrees. And he believes in the people of Northern Ireland. He asked me to assist in championing your cause and your case. And luckily for me, it's a pretty easy case to make. There's over 230 American businesses that now thrive in Northern Ireland, employ over 30,000 people. The United States is Northern Ireland's largest source of market value for foreign direct investment, predominantly in high-value sectors. And over the last decade, political stability has drawn almost $2 billion in new investment from the United States alone. Today, Northern Ireland has one of the highest concentrations of cybersecurity employment in Europe because it is a top investment location for U.S. firms in the field. They are here, folks, because you are here. The talent, the people, the community, the possibility, and the future. Firms like Citi and Seagate could be anywhere. They chose to be here. They chose Northern Ireland. They chose you. Two of my primary responsibilities will be trying to get those firms that are already here to expand their footprint. And, of course, to make the case to the next set of global partners about why they should come here. Perhaps not surprisingly, many executives are already aware of the case for Northern Ireland. They know about the talent. They know about the ease of transit. They know about the potential for market access. They also, yes, want clarity and certainty. They want to have a good idea of what might change and how and when that might happen. The sooner they have answers to those questions, the better for a Northern Ireland economy. But there also can be no prosperity without peace. And there can be no peace without prosperity. Indeed, it was in fact an Englishman who inspired American revolutionaries to codify that unalienable truth in our Declaration of Independence. That each of us was endowed not only with the right to life and liberty, but the right to pursue our happiness. A radical notion still today, perhaps, when you stop and actually think about it. But in Locke's framing, that happiness meant that each of us was entitled to a path where our own basic needs would be met. In the 250 years since, America has wrestled mightily with that responsibility. I am incredibly proud of my country. But I am not blind to the places where our promises have fallen short. For while we lead the world in scientific discovery and innovation, we struggle to make good on that commitment to protect the basic dignity of every person who calls America home. My hometown of Boston, we like to call the cradle of our revolution, is also mentioned as a global hub of technology, innovation, and life sciences. And I think that's true. We're proud of it. But a friend also recently mentioned to me her old bus route. She'd hop on the #1 bus in Harvard Square, past towering bookstores, sparkling theaters, through the sprawling MIT campus and over the Charles River, speckled with sailboats. She'd cut across the Tony Brownstones of the Back Bay and the now gentrified bow fronts of the South End. Not 20 minutes later, the bus would come to a stop in front of Boston Medical Center, in one of the poorest census tracts in the entire United States. The streets were lined with the tents of the unhoused, while those struggling with opioid addiction moved up and down the sidewalks, attempting to ease their torment. Folks, No country, no government, no economy has ever been able to ensure that the benefits of capitalism take hold in every corner of their communities, even one that generates $23 trillion a year. Yet that is also our collective task ahead, from my backyard to yours, to ensure that the benefits of prosperity and growth touch every single soul across this great place. From a vibrant city center, past the falls in Shankill, the River Foyle, and through every corner of County Down, to be deliberate, to be intentional, to be impactful. If there's a place on this planet that is resilient, that is capable, that is clear-eyed and scrappy enough to take on this challenge, it is the shores we stand on today. Because you all aren't afraid of the hard stuff. You have wrestled through hundreds of years of division, tribe and tradition, country and creed, pain, hurt, and loss. And you are still here. You are building a Northern Ireland where the troubles of the past give way to the triumphs of tomorrow, where children can read about history and not relive it. Children like Jack McBride from Donegal, who I met yesterday, right out back from this hall. He shared with me a piece that he wrote entitled GFA Poem. It concludes, but some still argue till this day if the agreement's truly sound. Is it the beginning of a new era, or just a Band-Aid that's bound? Regardless of the criticisms, we can all agree that the Good Friday Agreement was a step towards harmony. So let's raise a pint of Guinness to the Irish and the Brits who put aside their differences for a future that uplifts. Here's to a future that you have earned, a future that Jack and every child like him deserves. I am so excited and grateful to be along with you in this journey, and I cannot wait to see where we will go. Thank you so much.
And the Welsh Government would be better spending the estimated £100 million that the proposals would cost on public services. So if the Welsh Government and